GMB pause for urgent breaking news as Kate Garraway says, within hours. Good Morning Britain presenters Adil Ray and Kate Garraway delivered a breaking news bulletin involving Donald Trump. Good Morning Britain aired a breaking news bulletin about the Israel-Hamas war early on the ITV breakfast show. Anchors Kate Garraway and Adil Ray were in the studio with the latest updates, and while Kate had a smile on her face as she explained a ceasefire is set to take place within hours, Adil looked stoic as he reported the news. Kate began by explaining, breaking news this morning, a ceasefire is due to come into effect in Gaza within hours. Overnight, the Israeli government approved Donald Trump's plans to end the war with Hamas. Israeli troops are now expected to start withdrawing from Gaza as early as today. Adil chimed in, the U.S. President Trump, says the remaining hostages are likely to be released on Monday or Tuesday. 20 are believed to still be alive. Meanwhile, the UN is preparing to send at least 400 aid trucks a day into Gaza, where famine has been declared in some of those areas. Reacting to the news, one GMB viewer on X sarcastically posted, Trump paved the way for the end of another war. What a terrible person he is, hey? Someone else said, a deal that Starmer has absolutely no involvement in, nor any deal whatsoever. He rewarded the Hamas terrorists with a state without any conditions to release the hostages first. Another viewer simply penned, good news for all sides, especially those who have suffered and are suffering. Let's hope peace can now be achieved for Ukraine. Good Morning Britain viewers were left in stunned silence this morning after the show came to an unexpected halt for an urgent breaking news update. A moment that sent shockwaves through both the studio and living rooms across the nation. Host Kate Garraway, who had been leading a lively discussion just minutes earlier, suddenly grew visibly tense as producers interrupted her mid-sentence. What followed was one of the most gripping moments in recent GMB history, and a message that has since dominated social media under the phrase, within hours. It all began just after 7:45 a.m. The morning had started like any other, a brisk debate about new government spending plans, a weather update from Laura Tobin, and the usual dash of humor from Richard Madeley. But then, mid-link, a voice could be heard faintly in Kate's earpiece. Her expression shifted instantly, that practiced calm every news anchor learns over decades of broadcasting settling over her face. I'm so sorry, she said, glancing to the camera as a red breaking news banner flashed across the bottom of the screen. We're going to pause our discussion because we're receiving some urgent updates. This has just come in, and we'll bring you details as they're confirmed. The studio fell silent. Even Madeley, often prone to offhand remarks during live moments, sat back, his brow furrowing. The tone of the show changed in an instant. From lighthearted to somber, from talk show banter to full-fledged newsroom urgency. After a tense few seconds, Kate continued, her voice steady but weighted. Developments are happening within hours, we're told, she said carefully, pausing to glance down at her notes. This is a very fluid situation. No one knew what she meant just yet. The cryptic phrase, within hours, sparked a flood of speculation online almost immediately. Twitter, now rebranded as X, lit up with hashtags like hashtag GMB breaking and hashtag within hours, as users demanded clarity. What's happening? Why has GMB stopped? One viewer posted. Another wrote, Kate Garraway looks shaken. This must be serious. Inside the studio, production staff scrambled behind the cameras, visible in reflections and side shots as the feed cut between wide angles. For those watching, it was a rare peek behind the polished curtain of live television, the kind of unscripted intensity that only happens when real news collides with the morning sofa. A few minutes later, the GMB theme played softly again, signaling the show was back on track. Kate reappeared, her composure unshaken but her tone markedly different. Thank you for staying with us, she began. We can confirm that we've received reports that have serious national implications. Details remain limited, but we understand that an official announcement could come within hours. We'll, of course, keep you fully updated as this story develops. She didn't elaborate further. Not yet. The restraint only fueled public curiosity. Viewers speculated whether it was political, royal, or related to national security. Some wondered if the announcement hinted at a sudden government shift following weeks of political turmoil. Others suspected a major health or safety captured audiences wasn't just the suspense, it was Kate herself. The veteran broadcaster, known for her calm empathy and composure through personal hardship, handled the breaking situation with unmistakable professionalism. Fans praised her across social media for maintaining control under pressure. Kate Garraway is the definition of grace under fire, one viewer posted. You can tell she knows how to hold the room. Around 8:15 a.m., as speculation reached fever pitch, Kate returned to the air with slightly more detail, though she remained cautious not to overstep what was confirmed. We've been liaising with our news team, and what we can tell you is that this relates to an unfolding situation here in the UK, she said. Officials have been meeting overnight, and we're expecting an official update very soon, possibly within hours, as we mentioned earlier. Her repetition of the phrase only amplified its weight. The words became almost symbolic, not just of the story's immediacy, but of a nation once again holding its breath for answers. Viewers later learned the breaking update was tied to an emergency government briefing expected later that day, concerning a developing crisis that had escalated overnight. While the nature of the issue remained under wraps at the time, the tension inside the GMB studio lingered. For those familiar with Kate's career, the gravity of her delivery felt deeply personal. She has long been admired for her ability to navigate emotional or high-pressure moments, from heart-wrenching family updates during her husband Derek Draper's long illness, to national events like the Queen's funeral and the COVID-19 lockdowns. Once again, she proved that instinctive ability to blend empathy with authority. When the show finally resumed its normal rhythm, co-host Richard Madeley broke the silence with a quiet remark. You can always tell when something real is happening. The whole room changes. Kate gave a small nod, her eyes betraying the exhaustion that comes with carrying both information and calmness for millions watching. By 9 a.m., the situation had started trending at #1 across the UK. Fans called it the most gripping moment in breakfast TV this year. Others joked that no drama series could top the suspense of live GMB right now. Later in the show, Kate thanked viewers for their patience, acknowledging the wave of messages and concerns pouring into ITV's inbox. We know people are worried, she said warmly. That's completely understandable. We'll keep bringing you the facts as they come in. For now, we can only say that official confirmation is expected soon, possibly within hours. It was a line that would be replayed in clips all day long. News sites quoted it. Commentators analyzed it. Memes emerged. Yet, behind all the online frenzy, there was a deeper appreciation for the fragility and immediacy of live television. How it can capture a nation's attention in real time, binding millions together in shared anticipation. When the program finally signed off at 9:30, Kate closed with a reflective message. In moments like these, she said softly, it's a reminder of why we do this, to bring people together when uncertainty takes hold, to keep the conversation open, and to make sure that you at home are never left in the dark. The camera lingered on her face for a moment longer than usual before fading to the ITV daytime schedule. But the conversation online didn't end there. By lunchtime, within hours, had become not just a phrase, but a cultural snapshot, a testament to how much live television still matters in an age of instant headlines and social media chaos. For many, it was a flashback to the old days of real-time news, when viewers gathered around screens waiting for truth, not tweets.